Thank you for joining. This is going to be a very short tutorial or me showing you how I did my cushions, and I did them very simple. I opted for envelope cushions because I didn't want to spend so much on zippers. I wanted to be like the simplest sewing home project. So yes, so I have this African fabric, and I'm going to cut in 4 pieces. I used a fabric I had, a cushion cover that I had to measure the cushions, and then I cut, and then I'm going to cut 4 pieces because I want it to be not reversible but two-sided. One side is going to be the African fabric, and another one I wanted it to be white, but I didn't have a white fabric, so I just went for a random fabric that I had in the house, and that is black and white. You have to think about colors, and that if you use 2 different fabrics, make sure that the color doesn't run, or like if you use white, don't use red on the other one, because when you wash, the red might run on the white, and you don't want that. So unless you do the fabric testing, and that's just too much work, so just keep it simple. So I cut 4 pieces of this African fabric, and then to make the envelope, I'll cut the black and white in 4 pieces, and one of the pieces is going to be longer than the other one, so that it can make it the envelope effect. So so I'm just going to do all the cutting and measuring, and then put away the extra fabric. And you have to think about cutting on a flat surface, so you have neat lines, and I don't have a wide enough table to do all the cutting, so I do it on the floor, which is pretty good enough. And also always use fabric scissors. It helps that the fabric don't run, and it reduces the workload you'll have to do when it comes to sewing. Okay, the cushions are 50 by 70, but my cushion covers, I made them 40 by 70 because I want them to be more compressed, because these long ones, this one with the African fabric, I use them for the back, for like support. So I like them to be really hard, and by me doing this, by making them very stiff, it gives very good back support. And what else? And if your fabric has a pattern, make sure you follow the pattern, otherwise it will be very destructive for the eyes to look at if you mix the pattern all over. You have to put that in consideration. Yes, and now I didn't have enough fabric for the black and white, so I ended up cutting smaller pieces and joining them. But the good thing about the pattern in the black and white, it's not so it doesn't really have a pattern, so it's easy for me to just cut them anyhow and join them together, and you don't even, when the product was finished, you don't even get to see the pattern, as if it's the pattern, there's no pattern, so you don't even get to see the lines where I joined the small fabrics to make it like fit. I also made some smaller cushions, like for the neck, and those ones I made sure that they fit loosely, because they are for neck support, and you need it to be more fluffy, not stiff. And with those, it was very easy to make, because even the cushions, the cushions that come with the pillows are quite big, so when I used them, I didn't have to think too much about them, about the fit. Plus, I also made those as envelope because I didn't want to to put so much zipper, because I would have to put in consideration the width, the length of the zipper, and I just wanted to make this as simple as possible. And also, the seasons are changing. I like changing my interior decoration with the seasons, because now when it starts getting darker, I prefer having light decoration, like bright colors, like neutral colors, and then maybe towards the end of the year, then I change maybe to more festive colors, or I don't, or I wait until I need to wash them. So, and I wash them because I rarely use them, so they are rarely used, so washing them, I don't require to wash them so often, so it's enough to wait until a season, like 3 months or 4 months, for me to change them. The same thing with curtains. I don't change them that often, I don't wash them that often, but I make sure I wash them at least once every season. Okay, so the sewing is pretty simple because it's an all-round. There is no complicated stitches that I used, but in all the corners I made sure that I double stitched, I back stitched, yes, and this was to reinforce the corners, so that when you turn the cushions around inside out, then the corners are hard enough and they won't your finger won't go through once you fit in you try to fit in the pillow. Yeah, and when you're sewing, make sure all the joints are laying flat, and so that it's a neat job. Do a neat job. This is very simple. There's nothing complicated. When you're done, you need to clip off the corners, make them flat, or I cut mine in oval shape, because then it's not so much fabric that is left on the corners. What else? Let's see, what else did I okay, it was this was my first time making pillow cushion, so it was kind of a challenge, but I loved it. And yes, and I would say, first, if it's your first time making this, if you have a pillow cushion, try using that as your template. Otherwise, for the measurements, I would not really 100% say that they were professionally cut, but at least they're going to fit my pillows. You'll see that I struggle to put them in, and that is what I wanted. I wanted them to be really stiff when I put in the pillow. Yes, and you can see the joints where I had to add fabric, because it wasn't enough. Okay, and cut off all the threads, the corners, make a clean work. Extra fabric and all that. I think this is quite simple. I didn't even want to do a voiceover for this, but just for the sake of it. If you have any questions, ask, because for me this is so self-explanatory that I think I don't have to say much. But I really appreciate you watching this, and I hope it gives you ideas, because it's these long pillows, it's very hard for me to find pillow cushions for them. So this was my last option. And as you can see, that is the curtain. I had I cut the curtain into, it was a tablecloth that I cut into two, so, and made into curtains. Now I'm going to make it into pillow cushions. So yes, the struggling into fitting it, because yeah, but at least it fit, and it was really, you'll see the end result soon. And I enjoyed this project. I love sewing, and yeah, thank you so much for watching, and just wait until you see the end product so you can see how it looks on both sides. Highly appreciated. Thank you.